Welcome back to another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, the show that fuels your business success. I'm Brandon Gano, your host and guide through the world of harmonious business growth. Today, we're unlocking powerful strategies with industry experts to help your business thrive. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or executive, you are in the right place. Join me and our incredible guests today on the journey to clarity, growth, and success. It is time to revolutionize your approach to business. Let's dive in with another episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Welcome back in. Welcome to the Harmonious Party. And yes, it is week 2 of the weekly recap. Again, if you heard last week's, I'm just trying this out. It's an effort to space out the need to record so many episodes. So 4 guest episodes a week plus a weekly recap. And who knows, we may throw in a different flavor to this episode every now and then. But this is also to recap anything that you missed. Or maybe you just wanted some background information on the episodes and the guests this week. So we are talking about the guests, the 4 guests who we had on the show this week. We have Tom Dillon, Eden Lovejoy, Steve McKinney, and of course, Michael Neal. Not exactly in that order, depending on when they aired. But I wanted to go over, this was a huge week. I absolutely loved every single episode. I loved recording the episodes. And they were phenomenal guests. I mean, out of the park with the quality of the guests this week. I can't say enough about them. So shout out to them. If you have not heard the episodes, any one of them, I would highly recommend that you go back and listen to them. So here's my quick overview of the recap of the week. Let's start off, and I'm going to share my screen again if you're watching, just to show you the thumbnails you're looking for on YouTube. So Michael Neal was Monday's episode. It dropped on Monday. Michael was a phenomenal guest. He created this cool product. His company is called Build My Team. And it came, I love stories like this. It came out of the need for him in his optometry business to hire better. And he created this product. He went through assessments, different tools, different ways to filter people. And he still ended up with a stack of resumes and couldn't filter through them. Long story short, I'll cut to the end. Go back and listen to his version of the story. But he built a tool that basically filters out employees or applicants to only hire the best employees. Now, I have to say, I do have a special place in my heart for Michael and his software here, because that's pretty much exactly what we're doing at HumanOp. We have a different spin because we have a unique proprietary assessment tool and technology. It's so much more than an assessment. It's really a human analysis tool where we can give you the blueprint or the operating manual of yourself or of prospective employees. However, that being said, I love Michael's take on this because they're not concerned with necessarily the optimization like we are after the hiring part of the process. They want to make sure that you have the right team, the right fit, the right hire, the right culture. And that's how he has monetized this service, is going into companies who need help hiring. Maybe they get a ton of applicants and weeding that down. So you're only interviewing and hiring the absolute best candidates for the job. And it weeds out the liars too, and the professional interviewers, which I love so much. This episode was all about hiring A players, what that could do for your team and your organization. If you've ever hired an employee in your life, I promise you this is an episode you're not going to want to miss. I could share my own horror stories about hiring in the past, but Michael is definitely out to fix that. So I appreciate him stopping by, and I'm a big fan of his software, of what he's doing, and recruiting top talent so you can up level your business. Next up, we had, oh man, I clicked off of it. I'm not the most technologically advanced here, but that's okay. Anyway, next up, we had Tom Dillon. Tom was super fun to talk to. He's a fractional CFO. He's actually got a business that goes top to bottom in the finance space, accounting, bookkeeping, CFO, CPA. So he's one of those people that can really help you get a better handle and understand your finances, which quite honestly, I've had a couple of people on the show. They're few and far between to find really, really good ones. I have to say, all of our guests who have been in the CFO space, another one that comes to mind way back, if you were a subscriber of the show, is Jay Dotson of Prosper CFO. Jay was also an incredible guest, and really disrupting the CFO space. Tom, similar but different. Tom really focuses on his company, Frac Finance, focuses on helping the small business owner really look into the future and understand strategic growth, creating exit plans, and driving the business towards where you want it to go so it's sustainable. You can meet your financial goals, the business meets its financial goals, and it's sellable. So many businesses, I've heard the stat, over 85% of small businesses do not sell. This is of the ones that make it past the 5-year point and survive. This is the ones that survive, are at a sellable point. The business ends up just closing down instead of selling. So somebody like Tom is going to be a great resource. And just listening to what he has to say about setting your business up for scalability and really to thrive is so, so important. And what I liked about him is when you talk to a lot of people in the finance space, especially CPAs, bookkeepers, they're usually worried about cutting costs. And that's their strategy in the beginning of at least working with them. And I've worked with people like this in the past too, is that's all they can see is what has been spent, what has been done, been invested, and cut as many of the costs as possible. Tom takes a different approach, and he says, that's important. There's nothing wrong with cutting costs. And of course, it's a valuable strategy. We don't want to just waste what we make. But he's so much more concerned about making money, generating revenue, than he is about just slashing costs. You can always make more than you can save. He lives by this principle, and he's got the clients and the track record to prove it. So thanks to Tom for stopping by. Really fun episode. He was a cool guy. He's up in the Chicago area. So really, really awesome. If you're in the market for a CFO or you want to get a better handle on your finances, I highly suggest listening to that episode first and seeing what you get from it. Next, the third episode of the week released on Wednesday was Eden Lovejoy. Eden was an example of potentially love at first sight. So her her business model and the way she approaches running and growing small businesses was so similar to ours, the Harmonious business architecture, that I loved everything she said. As a matter of fact, if you heard the episode, I said at multiple points, I don't even know why I'm talking here. I think it's just to fill space because Eden and I agree with everything you say. And this is fantastic. But all jokes aside, I loved her. I loved her take. I love her methodology. She's all about freeing the founder, freeing you as the entrepreneur from really running the business and having the business drive itself forward. She gave strategies. She gave tactics. She really helped you understand. I think I even said this in the episode. If not, I said it to her after. If you listen to that episode and you actually implement what she shared, I think it was like 18-minute episode. If you implement what she shared, you will absolutely see results in your business within the next 30 or 60 days. It was that powerful of an episode. And I really loved recording it, meeting Eden. I thought she was phenomenal. And she gave a link to download an ebook, which again, if you go through that step by step, it's going to change completely the way you run and look at your business. So highly, highly suggest listening to that episode with Eden Lovejoy about beyond management and beyond managing a business, but growing a business and scaling it without you at the helm. Last, but certainly not least, an amazing episode with Steve McKinney. Steve was a former pastor. We got to talk about our love for the Lord before we recorded and after, which is amazing. Of course, always love that. But Steve wrote a book, and he's been a personal trainer too. His book, as a matter of fact, is in my Amazon shopping cart. I can't wait to get it and to start implementing the strategy. His whole thing was about a 15-minute workout twice a week that gets you better results than if you were to work out every single day. I know from my past that I used to go to the gym every single day of the week, 6 or 7 days was my average. I rarely miss a day at the gym, and it wasn't for me, honestly. I mean, I was there for an hour and a half with the total trip there and back, and I really didn't see the results. Now, I also have a really good diet, which Steve touched on in this episode, and he kind of shared with me that you're not really doing the work that you think you are at the gym because there's so much downtime in a traditional workout. And when you stop and think about that, I mean, it makes complete sense. So he said he's found a way to, and he's done this with his clients, he's proven it and gotten amazing results that he talks about in the episode, to get it down to really strain the muscles for 15 minutes. And you do 2 of these workouts a week because they're so strained, they need more rest and recovery time. So it's these intense but manageable 15-minute workouts, and you get better results and better long-term results. And it's way more sustainable than going to the gym every day and doing the normal iron pumping workout, if you will. So Steve kind of blew my mind with that. I'm not going to lie. I've never heard of a format like this to working out. I'm all about it because like I said before, I don't have the time to invest in going to the gym every single day anymore. It's a waste of my time. I wasn't happy with the results, and there's a lot of factors that could play into that, but I'm excited to try this. I also layer that in. He recommended a 30-minute walk every day and altering your diet slightly. So I'm very excited to try this in my own life, to implement it, and have Steve back on in the near future to talk about the results that I get, more results that his clients get. He said some crazy things that I want to dive into in the future about eliminating heart disease and restoring people's cardiovascular system back to pre-heart attack levels. These are people who have had heart attack, stroke, and other issues. He's actually been able to completely reverse the damage done based on his workout. So very interesting, I'll say, but I'm excited to dive in. So that was Steve McKinney. Thanks to Steve for stopping by as well. And for those of you listening to this who have not heard those 4 episodes, I know it sounds like I'm tooting my own horn because it's my podcast. And of course I want you to listen, but no, listen, I'll be real with you on the Friday updates. That I can guarantee. If there's not a real awesome episode, well, I'll just shoot it straight. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. But these 4 guests were absolute rock stars. Every single episode, action-packed with tactics and strategy, actionable things you can go and use in your life and in your business. And I cannot recommend more that you go download and listen to those 4 episodes when you have a chance. Come back next week. We got 4 incredible new guests lined up, and then I'll see you back here again on Friday with the weekly update. Thanks for listening, and I hope you subscribe to Harmonious at Lunch so you won't even need these updates. You'll just catch them in real time. But let me know what else you want down in the comments. Shoot me a message wherever you're listening to this. I want to put out the content that you want to listen to, and I want to interview the guests that are going to help you solve your problems and challenges in your life and business. We'll see you next time and next week. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Harmonious at Lunch podcast. Make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you're on, and we want to invite you to join us in the Small Business Success Facebook group, our private group where guests and listeners come together to grow your business. We want impact-driven entrepreneurs who are ready to go to the next level in this group so we can all share ideas, collaborate, and grow our businesses together. Go to whatif.com/group, and we want to invite you to join today. See you on the next episode of Harmonious at Lunch.